here celebrating her life. She's probably saying to my father, okay, let the party begin, right? That would be her. Traditionally, when we do a eulogy, or when a eulogy is done, one person does it. But my mom was never traditional, and neither are we. So my brother, myself, and my sister are all going to talk while we have a crowd like you sitting here. Okay. I know that you all have a story, a crazy, lovable story about Adele. And I hope later on when we all get together again that you'll share some of those wild and crazy times that maybe we don't even know about. Did you know that my mom, when she was born, she was baptized Adeline Elizabeth? I mean, that was such a beautiful name, but knowing my mom, was thoroughly modern Millie, she decided that she was going to change it to Adele Betty. So, anybody who didn't know that?
No, I didn't know it.
I didn't know it till, I don't know, maybe I was in my late 20s. Our mom was always the most favorite mom and favorite aunt. Of course, I know I'm probably a little prejudiced, but I have the microphone and you don't. There were two simple words, Aunt Adele, and those two words would bring a smile to everyone's faces. And don't forget her phrase, shit ass. I think Aunt Adele and shit ass went together. What? Yeah, there were a lot of other Adeleisms that my sister and my brother-in-law always did. Oh, shit or get off the pot. Thank you. See? I mean, we could go, everybody could have one. Okay? Well, let me tell you what our shit ass did and put her family into a situation to see. She was challenging us to see if we could all really get here for her memorial. I know myself and Chuck and Chelsea, our car broke down. It's being fixed in Pittsburgh as we speak, and we have to go back next weekend. But we came. My brother, because of the Chicago fire, that sounds familiar, doesn't it? Another Chicago fire. He couldn't come, as Christopher said. And my daughter Ashley, who lives in Chicago, finally got on, I think it was the 9th flight. And she was hoping to be here sometime today, like 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. But we all wanted to be here. And I think my mom, I think this is what she really, really wanted, to be able to bring all of us together. Family that we hadn't seen for many years, friends from childhood to adult life, because I know that she would have loved to be here. So in place of that, she had all of us so that we can enjoy each other. The only the only person that didn't have a problem was Christopher. But then again, Christopher never had a problem. That's what my mom would say. Speaking of grandchildren, in the mid-'80s, she finally got the title Mama. She told me that when Ashley, my firstborn, was born, she said, I know what, I want to be called Grandmama. Well, think of the first time a child can talk. It turned out to be Mama, and then consecutively after that, the other 2 grandchildren said Mama. And as I said, being a grandmother was really a beautiful thing. I was overwhelmed, and I still am. That's one of the things that I'm going to admire and remember most about my mom, the kind of grandmother she was. Okay. And I just lost my place. Okay. We had a lot of fun memories with my mother and father. Quarterly, let me tell you, quarterly would come and visit us in Philadelphia. And in those 3 months prior to her visit, I think she would probably buy up to 5 to 10 pounds of candy and bring them for the girls. Yeah, I think she swayed them a little by that. But then we also had great times in the summer when they'd come and we'd go to the Jersey Shore. And if you remember one of those pictures there, there was my mom laying in the sand on her stomach with the girls just sitting over her looking at her. I think that's when she had maybe one too many Mount Gay rums and tonic. Yeah, I know. My mother, it was funny because my mom started off, everybody can remember, she started off with her scotches. She always had to have a scotch. Then she went to, I think, Mount Gay rum and tonic, and then vodka and tonic, and in the last 5 or 6 years, she ended up with her Bloody Marys. That's why we tried to do a toast, but we just got out of hand. So the next time you have a Bloody Mary, think of Adele.
You can't forget the Thousand Islands.
Oh, Thousand Island? No.
Long
Island. Oh yeah, she liked her Long Island iced teas. Really, I think she had one. Didn't she join the last year? She probably finished half of it and then she was under the table, but she worked at it. And just to finish up now, when my mom lost her best friend, which we've all said is my dad, she stayed with us and she continued to share her life with us. And even to the very end, she gave us the last Mother's Day. She had her Bloody Mary, her lobster, bisque, and I forget exactly what else. But we were all together out at a restaurant, and she couldn't have been better at that moment. And I think that was a blessing because she said, this is it, one more Mother's Day and I've had it. I don't care if you want me to stay here, I want to go with Dad. I'm a little exhausted at this point. And she did. We had time to spend with her, and there's a funny story. I think I was telling the Milettis that my mom started to be like not as coherent, and we're all going, oh, we're all really sad, holding her hand, and she looks up and she goes, I'm ready to go, I want to go. And we're like, where? And she goes, I want to go with Dad, I want to go be with God. And we're all like, you know, crying our eyes out and saying, okay, Mom, go ahead. And she put her head down, and we waited thinking maybe this is her last breath. And then she just lifted her head and said, already, I want to go. And that's Mom, you know, so she gave us the laugh to the very last minute, and we were all blessed as as her children and the grandchildren and cousins and friends were all blessed by her craziness and her beauty. And I want to again thank you so much because this is a beautiful testament to her life. Thank you.